big wake-up call for the financial world in terms of Bitcoin was during the regional bank crisis last year, as the KRE, which is the regional bank index here in the United States, was absolutely imploding when Silicon Valley Bank and others went under. Bitcoin increased 40%. And, many people who just refused to look at Bitcoin said, wait a minute, what? There's nothing like price action in a bad market, good price action in a bad market, to elicit the interest of investors who were poo-pooers before. And so that's what happened, because for the first time...
Welcome back to our channel, where we'll be exploring the fascinating dynamics of an impending massive technology revolution. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, is hinting at a revolutionary change that has the potential to boost productivity, global growth, and incomes all throughout the world. The twist is that artificial intelligence, AI, is poised to become a disruptive force, affecting a staggering 60% of occupations in industrialized nations. AI integration is a double-edged sword. On one side, it's promising to turbocharge productivity, benefiting about half of the exposed jobs. On the flip side, there's the potential for a significant shakeup in the job market as machines take over tasks currently performed by humans. This could lead to lower wages and, in some cases, render certain job roles obsolete. Cathie Wood, the well-known stock picker and investor, says she has the answers to navigating through this turbulent time of change. Her firm, ARK Invest, has identified 5 innovation platforms that are on the verge of an explosive growth trajectory. Hold on to your hats, because ARK Invest predicts the market value of these disruptive platforms to soar from $13 trillion in 2024 to an astronomical $200 trillion by 2030. Now, that's a piece of the pie you wouldn't want to miss. But that's not all Cathie's enthusiasm extends to the world of cryptocurrencies. Brace yourselves for her bold predictions: a staggering $1.5 million for Bitcoin and nearly $200,000 for Ethereum by 2030. Crypto enthusiasts, are you listening? And guess what? We've got the inside scoop. In a recent interview with OPTO Sessions, Cathie Wood reveals the ways in which investors may set themselves up for the upcoming industrial and technology transformation. Now is the moment to take action. Let's see what more she has to say.
It's not just 1 or 2 seeds, which has been the history of innovation, like the transistor and the internet and so forth. It's 5 major platforms involving 14 different technologies. So multi-omic sequencing in the life science space, robotics, energy storage, artificial intelligence, and blockchain technology. So each of them is evolving, ready for prime time, ready to scale at growth rates that, depending on the technology, are anywhere from 20% to 50% per year. AI is a big catalyst here, and that's how we get to convergence. Each of these technologies leads to exponential growth, so sustained growth at a very strong rate. But think about the convergence of these technologies, these 5 major platforms. What you have is all of these S-curves feeding each other, which we think is going to create super exponential growth. And what that means, and what will be so unexpected here, is that already strong growth rates will accelerate and we think create massive productivity gains and opportunities for wealth creation. Artificial intelligence is a huge part of this. In fact, it is catalyzing the other technologies and accelerating them all. The biggest increase in productivity is in knowledge workers. We think there will be at least a 4-fold increase, probably more, during the next 6-7 years. And knowledge workers account for $13 trillion in wages and salaries. So think about that. The productivity, one person can do 4 times more than he or she was able to do, a few years ago. We're already seeing this with coders. Coders, their productivity already at this very early stage is up anywhere from 50 to 100%. Technologies are inherently deflationary, but this is good deflation. They submit to learning curves, which we can measure in terms of costs coming down, and that's passed along in terms of prices. So this is good deflation, and it usually causes booms in unit growth. So all of those 5 platforms, we're going to see massive growth coming out of those. On the other side of that is going to be creative destruction. And what is that? It's really the disintermediation or the disruption of the traditional world order, which is really interesting because many investors now feel very comfortable in these large, broad-based indexes like MSCI World or S&P 500 or NASDAQ. But we think there's going to be a lot of disruption there and to the economy. So it'll feel a little chaotic. The sectors that are ripe for disruption include the entire transportation sector as we go to autonomous mobility, all of financial services as we move into blockchain technology, which is simply the internet financial system. It's the layer of the internet that developers forgot to put in the early 90s. So here it is, it's happening finally, and it's going to upend traditional financial services.
As we dive deeper into the core of this technological revolution, ARK Invest's thorough investigation reveals an important aspect that has the potential to revolutionize the financial services industry. Their breakthrough findings emphasize that artificial intelligence, AI, is not just a trend but a remarkable catalyst, propelling the exponential growth of these revolutionary platforms. The forecasts from ARK Invest present a strong picture. They predict a dramatic increase in the value of disruptive innovation in the global stock market, which will rise from a modest 16% of the equity market cap in 2024 to an astounding 60% by 2030. The company goes one step further and projects an annualized equity return associated with disruptive innovation that may exceed an astounding 40% in only 6 years. Get ready for the amazing potential. By 2030, the market capitalization could rise from its approximate present value of $19 trillion to an incredible $220 trillion. In a sharp contrast, ARK's research takes a more conservative stance on non-innovation platforms, projecting a growth from $98 trillion today to $140 trillion by 2030. However, the real intrigue lies in the varying rates of growth anticipated for each of the 5 platforms. Artificial intelligence is expected to surge at a rate of 37%, energy storage at an impressive 50%, public blockchains at 48%, robotics leading the charge with a staggering 78% growth, and multi-omic sequencing keeping pace at 39%. Now, as we absorb these fascinating insights, let's circle back to Cathie's interview. She's about to share more on the riveting intersection of finance and technology, particularly focusing on Bitcoin, blockchain, and why strategic positioning is paramount for seizing these once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. Let's hear what she has to say.
Big wake-up call for the financial world in terms of Bitcoin was during the regional bank crisis last year, as the KRE, which is the regional bank index here in the United States, was absolutely imploding when Silicon Valley Bank and others went under. Bitcoin increased 40%. And, many people who just refused to look at Bitcoin said, wait a minute, what? There's nothing like price action in a bad market, good price action in a bad market, to elicit the interest of investors who were poo-pooers before. And so that's what happened, because for the first time, Bitcoin became a risk-off asset in their eyes. They had only thought of it as a risk-on asset, very volatile, does well in bull markets. But this was a very loud signal. And I think the SEC signal, the green light with the ETFs, our spot ETF, ARKB is one of them, did get more and more people thinking about what you said, Ed. This is a new asset class. So advisor community, you may not like it inherently, but you must take a point of view and tell your clients why you're not including it, because the history of new asset classes is that when you put an allocation into one of these new asset classes, into your existing portfolio, the return per unit of risk goes up because of the diversification and the low correlation to other assets. And so a lot more advisors and investors are taking it seriously now. Mm-hmm. And what I say to most people, not just investors, is you need to know about this kind of research, and you need to familiarize yourself, not just because of your investments, but because of your life. The world is going to transform so completely, we think, during the next 5 to 10 years because of these 5 platforms evolving at the same time, that you're not going to recognize it. So if you want to guide your children or your grandchildren to the right side of change, you have to go back to the early 1900s to even get a sense of this. That was telephone, electricity, and internal combustion engine. This is much bigger than that.
Cathie Wood provides us with a fascinating perspective as we come to the end of our investigation into the realm of finance and creativity. When considering how Bitcoin responded to the regional bank crisis last year, she points to an important moment in which traditional markets failed and Bitcoin had a 40% increase. This was a big change since Bitcoin proved to be resilient and was now seen as a risk-off asset. Financial advisors should be aware of this shift. According to Cathie, ETFs such as ARK Spot ETF are witnessing a surge in demand, indicating that cryptocurrencies, and specifically Bitcoin, are becoming more popular in diverse portfolios. It's an unmistakable indication of how the investing environment is evolving. Cathie highlights the wider implications of developing technology going beyond financial matters. In the next 5 to 10 years, she believes there will be a significant shift brought about by innovation platforms. This is about more than simply making investments. It's about realizing how quickly the world is changing and adjusting to it. Cathie's advice rings true whether you're someone navigating life or an investor navigating markets. Keep educated, welcome change, and take advantage of the possibilities that lie ahead. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Happy investing.